Hello, welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on Dungeons and Patterns. It's a role-playing game now written in Elm, and we've come a long way. We've got several types of puzzles. At this point, I just want to go through kind of top to bottom or bottom to top and see what seems out of place and try and refactor this thing and improve it. I've not done a whole lot of Elm, and I think I can learn more about how to do things well. So let's go over to the IDE. Let's see. I think I got this started up. Yeah. Okay. So what we have now, typically you go in a room, there's some picture and a description. In this case, this is a dialogue puzzle, so there's some actions you can take. And when you do an action, something happens. And eventually you decide you want to guess. Prototype. Okay, now some rooms, guessing right gets you access to more rooms, like this one. We can walk around and see the rooms. Let me get to a different puzzle type. This one, you have a picture of 3 walls, and you need to guess the puzzle or the design pattern mentioned on each one. And I'll spare you the reading. And chain of responsibility. Okay, so it turns green, and I think there may have been an extra door or two with that. And there are a couple other types. We're not too worried about the exact types today. All right, so the structure of this thing, let's go in here. Let's see. So Elm has this notion of the Elm Architecture, and we're basically following that. There's a model, there's a message, there's a view, and then we have a bunch of supporting classes for it. If we go down through them, let's take the model. All right. The model knows the current room. It knows which rooms have been visited. It knows the state for each room, which is a puzzle state. So each room that has a puzzle, we map from the room name to the puzzle stuff. It knows which rooms are solved, and it's got a specification for the game itself, which we read in from a big old JSON file. JSON. Okay, now this has room name and puzzle state and game. Let's go to puzzle state. Do I have that up? No. Okay, so puzzle state has different things that may apply to this puzzle. So one is the array of patterns. So like we just saw the one with 3 patterns you had to guess. That's this. This is your 3 guesses, your current guesses. There's another puzzle type that's an arrangement type, and you basically are making a permutation of the array. And then there's some cases where you just need some strings. Okay, so we're just keeping track of what goes on, and we have a default state that's just everything's empty. All right, let's look at game. Excuse me. Let's see, game here. Let me just clean up that import. Okay, so a game has the information on the puzzle itself, not current state, but the actual puzzle. And we know which room we're starting in. We know which room we're ending in. We know where to go after you finish the game. Min solutions is how many puzzles do you need to solve before you can move down to a new level. We've got some translations. Let's look at those. And that's where we're picking up the headers. Action header. What do you do? Choose an action. What's the pattern? Identify the patterns, and so on. And then finally, we have a map that goes from the room name to a room. Now let's go into room. Okay, so for each room, we know the image and description. That's the stuff at the top. Its particular puzzle. The list of exits we always show. The list of exits we show after it gets solved. And then if it's a room that can take you down a level in the dungeon, we have a way down if it's there. Okay, and again, there's an unknown room that basically has nothing in it. Okay. And well, room name and pattern name. Pattern name's just string. So there's not much there. Then we get to specific types of puzzles. There's a dialogue puzzle. So that was the one with the questions and answers, or the section where you could trigger dialogues and then get a response, and eventually you guess the answer. Okay. And all we have in here is something that tells if the puzzle is solved. Excuse me. I'm going to be running off and getting a drink in a minute. All right. And the others, every puzzle type has its own solution stuff to it. Okay. So what I want to do is start on these bottom level classes or low level classes and just look and make sure everything looks like it makes sense to me. Okay. So this one is a dialogue puzzle. Is solved. You give it the state for a puzzle and it returns a Boolean. That seems completely natural to me, or at least reasonable. Another one is the order puzzle. This one's a little more complicated. So this one, we give you a list of items in random order. So this is the items in the proper order, and then a scrambling of it, and then a message for success or failure. And it comes with a default. All right. And then to get the list of scrambled items, according to this guess, this array of integers. So when they select this, they're going to basically set arrows to move things up or down. And that gives you a new permutation of the items. So that array int is your guess, and that's what's coming in to this kind of puzzle, order puzzle. And the result of that is a list of strings. So it's basically the new ordering. Let's see, what's funny here? Well, one thing is we're going back and forth from arrays to strings. I don't know if that's how good an idea that is. Okay, well, let it go. And then we have the is solved. We make a guess that's the ordering from the state, okay, the puzzle state. And we check that if you take the scrambled items according to that guess on this puzzle, it should equal puzzle.items, which was the original list of items. So your scrambled order must put them back in order. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. What else do we have down here? Combo puzzle. Okay, we didn't talk about this one either. So this one is a little different. You have some items, and you get to choose which ones are in or out. Okay, and so according to that, there's no implicit right or wrong. You're just exploring. Okay, so we keep track of the list of items, and then we have some reactions, which basically go from what do you have to, some sort of message about it. So let's look for combo here. Okay, so the list, the input side is basically the ordering. Okay, so if you've selected no items, you get this message, picture. If you selected item 0, you get this. Item 1, you get that. All through what was that, 8 combinations of 0, 1, or 2. Okay, and so each of these is a picture that gets displayed depending what you've done. So you play with this for a while, and then you decide which pattern it is. You give it the answer, and there's success and failure messages. Okay, so one thing is we got a default puzzle, just a couple things in there. Okay, and then second thing is we get the reaction for a given list of things in our puzzle. Okay, and let's see. So basically we're accumulating the indexes that they gave us, and we put out a reaction from here. and then finally is solved, it's like the original dialogue pattern one. You just decide if you got the right guess. Okay. It's kind of too bad. This may be with default. In a way, it's sort of a can't go wrong thing, but that's okay. All right, what else we got? Order combo dialogue puzzle. I think we looked at. Order puzzle. Okay, I guess that covers our puzzle types. There's also a no puzzle type, but that's pretty trivial. All right, let's go to puzzle. So you don't have inheritance per se in Elm like an object-oriented language typically does. But you do have this structure that says, I'm identifying these types of things, and this one is trying to find out the answers, because at some point we say we want our list of possible answers to include every possible answer in the whole dungeon. And so how do you give us those? Well, a couple of these only have one answer. They put it in an array. The answer puzzle has a list of answers and gives us that. So that's the only method we've got on puzzle itself. Seems like there ought to be more. Okay, and then back up a level. I guess a room has puzzles, right? Well, it's got a puzzle. There's not much going on with it. Okay, has way down. It just answers, do you actually have a way down? Okay, pretty minimal. All right, let's get to game. And game has a bit more going on. Okay, it asks for translations. It looks up. Given a room name, it finds the room in the game. Okay, handy enough. The get function looks up the room in the name. Notice this is a private function. No E next to it. It looks up the room name in the game, and then it applies the function to that. So if you wanted to, it applies a room function. There's not very many room functions, are there? Well, there are. Let's see. There's this one. Well, and yeah, this one is a room function, but also image, description, puzzle, and so on are also room functions implicitly. .exits, .puzzle, .hidden, etc. Okay. Let's see. You get all the answers for the game by looking up all the puzzles in the game and then building a map of their answers, throw them in a set and get them back out. Throwing them in a set gets rid of duplicates, and then set to list gets them back out, but it also sorts them. So they're in a nice order. Okay. All puzzles is again just a helper function. Can we? Well, one thing we can do, it's kind of in the Elm spirit, is take advantage of the currying. Oops. If the argument is the argument, is that not right? I thought if it was the last argument, we could take it out. All puzzles game on M. I still think that should be right. Apparently not. I don't think it suggests it. Well, sometimes you can take out that last argument. I don't know why you can't in this case. Okay. The other thing in the game is the serialization. So, or more deserialization. We need code to read this JSON object. Rather than put each thing in its own class, I just left them all at game level. And I think that's okay. If you're a real Elm person, definitely speak up. Okay. So room's moderate sized. Let's go to model. Okay. I just think there's a lot of functions here. Whether they're all belong here, that's another trick. Okay. So a default model, again, it just is handy to have a little helper for that stuff. Look up the room. Is this a known room? Okay. Yes, then return room name, otherwise unknown. A little weird. Okay, get the state really just applies this is that dictionary.get. Look up the state in the model. If there's no state, just give it the default state. Okay, can you give me the patterns? Well, take the state and look at the patterns, the ordering, and so on. I don't know. Okay, this is one that gets a little complicated. Update patterns. And I feel like there should be a way to do this too. That's why it's frustrating. We're going to take out the current state from the model. We're going to create a new state with patterns equals new patterns. Then we're going to insert that back in the current room with the updated state on the model state. And if you remember state of model, it just looks up the current room with a default. Okay, now update patterns. I gotta look at dictionary. I don't know. I looked at this more than once. Hope it'll click at some point. All right. The real thing is, I think we're just doing an update. Am I wrong on that? Given a comparable, that's the key, and a function on the value, and a dictionary to the value, key to value, return a new dictionary. And I feel like that should be the same as what I did, because I grabbed something from the dictionary, I updated it, and then inserted it. So let's try and use this thing. I'm just going to paste it here. Copy that. Just put it here for reference. Whoa. Didn't copy what I selected. Oh. Apparently I selected more than I realized. Okay, and let's comment this out. Okay, so the comparable, the key, is the room. Is that right? I want you to look up the room. All right, let's try this. Okay, so the dicta update, it's the current room. We'll work on names. Okay. Current room is the key because I'm looking up state model, looks up the dictionary in the current room. Okay. Then I give it a function from maybe value to maybe value. Okay. Let's make it lambda. What we get I'll just say V goes to V for the moment. The dictionary is current state. And it equals new value. Okay, so current state must not be a dictionary. All right. I guess the dictionary is model.state. Okay, so if you look in model.state, let's see its type. Dictionary from room name to puzzle state. That just does not seem quite right. Puzzle state. Okay, so it's it's a dictionary from room to a current state. We give it the room, it should give us back a current state. Okay, so this is a puzzle state. Okay, and we want to update it. Well, I think that's where the new patterns comes in. In a puzzle state, with patterns equal new patterns. Okay, does that make sense? Apparently not. Comma or operator. Oh, I need a brace. No, I'm just flat out wrong. Maybe V goes to maybe V found A to patterns. Okay. It can't be, it's a maybe, so I gotta say just if it's a puzzle state. Well, maybe this is a maybe state, and if it's a just puzzle state, then we go to this, and if it's a nothing, let's just return maybe V. Oh, this should be a just. If it's nothing, we're just going to return just puzzle state. Is that kind of something went wrong? Okay. what's the matter here? Oh. I guess this is just nothing. Is that? Okay, so we're going to update the current room. Sorry, we're going to update model.state by taking the current room value. That comes in as a maybe state because it looks up the value. If it's there, it comes back with a maybe state. Okay, so if it is a puzzle state, so if it's valid, and that's kind of handling this maybe with default thing, this maybe state stuff. Okay, so if the state is there, we have just puzzle state. We're going to take puzzle state, which corresponds to current state here, and reset patterns to new patterns. Okay. And if it's nothing, in other words, if it didn't find a current state for this room, which shouldn't happen, admittedly, we're just going to return nothing. Okay. That should save. Okay. Something went wrong running Elm format. All right, let's see what the tests tell us. No, something's still wrong. Partway through parsing. Oh, something's not right here. Oh, extra print here. It should have been on the bottom. Okay. Right. Okay, what do we got? Test passed. Okay. Now, notice we're not using new patterns dictionary. So I don't know if this is simpler per se. Well, it's covering these two methods. And I don't know who uses this. Okay, but it's one fewer use of state. Okay, so look up the how do I say it? Look up the model state is a dictionary from room to puzzle state. Okay, if we look up a room, we get a state, possibly. If it's just a puzzle state, we're going to update the patterns to whatever the user gave us. If it's a nothing, we're just going to return nothing. And that should replace the type of this thing. Let's check that. Dictionary of room to patterns ordering. Well, that should be the same as this. As model. Let's make sure that's what model looks like. Sorry, make sure that's what state looks like. Puzzle state. Patterns ordering strings. Make sure that's what this thing is. Patterns ordering strings. Okay. So I think that's okay. I think I can replace that here now. New patterns dictionary. Okay. Okay, and this, I failed before, so this is not new. Okay, so what I got in state I don't even see state. Oh, I got an empty list. Okay, there's just something's not quite right. I don't know if I just am not matching up the right words to it or some other problem. Okay. Well, let it be. Okay, current guess. String to model to string. Okay, so this one is, we sometimes need to know the current guess. Let's see who uses this. Yeah, it should be a view. Okay. All right, so make options. Okay, so in this case, we're given a model. We want to produce the list of options. We're getting the current guess so we can know what that is given the default answer and the model. Okay, so current guess. Lookup array.getZero, so the first thing in the patterns array. If there is none, make the default guess apply. Okay, and it's reasonable enough. All right, and I'm also trying to pay attention to, does this belong on this class? And this one, current guess, certainly does. It's all about model. This one, I think, is about the model. Notice we use this greater, so we're, oh, that's probably what I didn't do in the other one either. The model is the implicit last parameter, predicate, guess, puzzle, and then this implicit last parameter model, update patterns, this stuff with model goes to solved model. Okay. Solved model is a helper. Given the predicate, puzzle, and model, if the predicate says it's solved, then we insert it into the solved. Otherwise, we keep the same list of rooms. That looks okay. This one is similar. It's recording the multi-answer list. Okay, what's the index? Oh yeah, so if we need to, we update the index at the new one. So we're updating the guess for index I. Is that the same as this? Puzzle state P, Boolean pattern name P. Puzzles? No. Pattern name. I guess it's not the same. You would think it would be kind of the same. GuessMultiPattern is guessing the three patterns. I would have thought. Okay. All right, here's guess ordering. The position is the position in the list. The second int is whether it's plus or minus 1. Are you moving it up or down? Okay. It's got this initialization in there, which is a little weird. But basically this swaps two items. Kind of a large method. All right, let me see if I can peel off the model here if I do this correctly. So the model comes off here, and now this is more of a function composition. Okay, so we take the strings, turn it into a list, get the head, and apply an action. If necessary, we give a default action. Okay, find the way down, can move down. I think that probably goes before find the way down. Can move down, we just say have we solved more puzzles than required? Way down, we get the way down from the current room. Current room is solved. That seems straightforward. Again, no, see this one I can't really take the model out because it's used twice there like that. This one, however, if I take the model out, I mean strings to list is another function. All right, let's make sure that's running. I've done this twice. Okay. Good. Combo add, combo remove. Just removing an item from the list. Unused combo items. Okay, so it's helpful to have a list to show which ones are not in play yet. I think again I can probably peel this off. So if we took out combo items of model, and so we'll do this in small steps. Pipe this into set.fromList. Okay, that should be okay. Then we can take the model off. It stays here, but it's gone from here, and turn these into composition. Okay, so take the combo items and from list and div it and to list, and you can apply that whole function to the model. Okay. Has any exits? Okay, yeah, just if the list is greater than 0. I said not equal, but it's greater too. Okay. I didn't see anything I wanted to move out. Okay. All right, model, and then I think message is probably the next one. Okay, and I hope this can be simplified, but I don't know. All right, but anyway, we're usually take a break about now, so let's take a 2 or 3 minute break. We'll come back, take a look at this message room, and then we'll look at the view, and at that point, I think we're done with the top to bottom review I've been doing. What else do we have? More cleanup in GuessDialog. We don't need dialogs now. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we'll get there. And a helper to create the model with the desired puzzle. Okay, we may want to do that. I don't think we'll check the end of game. Deploy game to web, make sure it works. Yeah. Okay, so we're closing in here. All right. So anyway, 2 or 3 minutes. We'll come back and tackle some of the rest and get moving on. Hi, welcome back. All right, so let's take a look at message. So message, we're defining all the interactions that can happen through our website, our page. You can load the game, you can go to a room, you can change levels, you can do an action, you can make a guess. We'll see how these are handled. You can make a guess on a multi-pattern, move up, move down, add or remove from the combo, and then game over. All right, so initial command, that's fine. Most of these are one-liners. I guess this one's a little more complicated because of error handling. Go to a new room, change the level, that's fine. Action, do action. Guess single pattern. Let's see these. let's see. This one, originally we just had single pattern was one thing and multi-pattern was another totally new puzzle type, but we've been making them more and more the same. All right, so my theory is, if notice this is all the same. Get model room, model game. Okay, if it handled things the same, okay, so I'm kind of increasing duplication to eliminate duplication. So I think guessing a single pattern really ought to be the same as guessing a multi-pattern with index 0. The string and the pattern name are close enough, and they're just the guess. Okay, and then a dialogue puzzle, we guess one pattern. Combo puzzle, guess one pattern. And that should be okay. So I'm going to say I should be able to comment out this one and call GuessMultiPattern with an index we don't really care about. Now, there may be some tests that directly called, export. GuessSinglePattern. Interesting. The one thing that got tested, nobody was using it. GuessSinglePattern. Okay. Okay, and then, okay, so guess single pattern here. How does it get handled? Well, it ends up calling the guess multi-pattern function. Okay, so I think we can still, I think we're okay. So guess single pattern, you call guess multi-pattern. Okay, so let's take that one out now. All right, now I would like everybody who calls guess single pattern, I would like them to call guess multi-pattern with 0 for an index. Okay, we'll let that find them. Message 69. That one goes away. Well, there's going to be more than that. We know the view does it. Okay, view 181, 192, and a message test. Okay, let's look at view. Should be complaining about where we want to go, yeah. Okay, on input, guess single pattern. Let's find a guess multi. Right. Okay, so guess multi-pattern 0. Instead of guess single pattern. Let's see what this complete is. What does that mean? Okay, I'm gonna go back just a minute. That was unused already. Okay, let's redo that. Okay. So I believe there's just a message test that's messed up at this point. Okay, where's message test? Okay, well, this should be GuessMultiPattern 0. There may be some redundant tests now, but okay. All is good. Okay. So more cleanup in GuessDialog. GuessDialog. Okay. So I guess this is kind of like miscellaneous small refactorings. Small and more in GuessDialog. Okay, so we don't need these things. Whoops. Don't need this stuff. Okay. Let me undo this. Let's split this up. Small refactorings, and we eliminated GuessSinglePattern. Okay, so I think that is what we've done. All right, so we'll push that. Okay, and this is 21-42. Right, okay, pull this down. More cleanup in GuessDialog. We don't need those now. Okay. GuessDialog doesn't need this stuff. All right. Okay, and make sure everything's happy. All right, now we got GuessDialog with this dialog puzzle. It doesn't really need to know that. We'll take out dialogs, and then any caller of GuessDialog. Hopefully this will still work. GuessDialog view 90. Doesn't need the dialogs because it's got the model. And GuessDialog with the model. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Yes, just to make sure, since we didn't actually see it. Okay, there we go. All right, so that simplified that some. Okay, so let's take that. Push that. Okay. Now, I think what we're really doing is refactor in View. All right, so again, I'm going to look through. Well, here's another one. All sections with model is the same as all sections. Whoops. Piped. Composed with model. And my hope is with these that eventually, I mean, they simplify at this level, and then you may find there's, you can inline it or something and make things even better. This one's kind of already at the top. It really is the top function. Model goes to HTML message, so I don't think there's much room there. All right. All sections model is you take the scene of the model, you show the puzzle, you show visible exits if there are any, you show can move down, and you show end of game. Conditionally, if there is one, so like way down, model can move down. If the model can move down, then return the HTML function show way down applied to the model. All right, so the scene, we get a class, we tag it with main image, dig out the current model from the current room, and model.game. I think didn't we provide a helper that would do this? Game. Game.get. Is it lookup? Just get. Function, room name, game. Okay, I guess that's okay. Oh, I should be looking at model. No. Take that out. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that makes that better. Okay, so we get the image, and then we dig up the source. Well, no, I think we're missing something here. I think we would like to say, I think we could provide a model that gets it, because this is digging stuff from the model, this is digging stuff from the model. Current room model, model game, we see it there, we see it here. I don't know, maybe that's not enough to justify it. Game.get. Let's look for game.get. Okay, show puzzle. Doors. Yeah, we're seeing that a fair bit. Okay, that's enough to make it worthwhile. So what I'm saying is, yes, this does some game getting, but really it's a question. It's really saying, I've got this function, string of records. I've got a function, and I want to apply it to current room of the model and the current game of the model. Both those are asking about the model. So this function really is, if I extract it as a function, it's a function on models, right? So let me do that. Let me extract it. I'll call it model get for now. Model get, and basically you're giving us the model. You're giving us a function. This function, puzzle, well, it's what is it? It's kind of a room to something, room name. Is that what it is? String of record room. I think it's a room. Why is it? Oh, import that. Okay, so we're giving it a function on the room. We're giving it a model. And we're producing, well, whatever that function does, I guess. Okay, so let's say model get, and this is room function and model. Yeah. If you do that, it equals something. What does it equal? Well, it should be equal to this. Okay, game.get. This is the room function. Okay, so game.get, whatever function is passed in, and this thing on model.game. Okay, let's try it here. So it's model.get, model.get. Oh, let's just start with model get. Model get description, and then we just need the model. Okay. And this is the scene, so it's kind of the top level thing we look at. And we're not really testing our view very thoroughly, so we're going to do this one by making sure our scene still looks good. Okay, so if I reload the page, yeah, I've still got a scene. Everything looks okay. All right, so let's move this function over to model. And I think it's a fairly high up thing. I think I just want to call it get, kind of by analogy to game.get. Okay, and then export it. Okay, get. You give me a function in the model, and I will look up the room and apply the function in the game of the model. Okay. Now view, so model, this should become model.get, model.get of that. Oops, lowercase g. And I think the problem is we don't expose get. Oh, no, that's not the problem. Capital M. Since I'm naming it explicitly, I don't need it in the declarations up there anyway. Okay, again, all should work. Tests, yes, okay. And let's do game.get up here, and spelled correctly. All right, game.get this. Okay, well that looks like model.get .image with model. Okay. Game.get puzzle should be model.get model. I'm happy. This is improving things. Okay. Oh. That's different. We can't do that one. Okay, we can only do these ones that are identical. Identical structure. Oh, get done image. What's way down room? Just that. No, that's not going to work either. Okay, so that one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. Oh, we're back around. Okay. We'll take the ones we got. Okay, refactor and view. All right, so that was just what was that? We extract model.get function and model. This was View.guessDialog. Okay. And let's keep looking around this thing. Okay. So this I think is okay. Show conditionally makes sense. The scene, you get the image, you get the description. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. The puzzle. Where's puzzle being used? Well, that's so much simpler. I think we can just inline this. Okay, multi-get puzzle. All right, so showing the puzzle, let's look at that a little closely. So if you have a dialogue, you show the actions and the guessing. Multi-answer puzzle, you just show the multi-answers. Order puzzle. Combo puzzle shows combo options, the active combo, and the active guess. Okay, so these are three things. One is, let's see, can we find that combo puzzle? I don't think we demonstrated that. Room 2F. And that might be the only one in there. So let's make the starting room 2F. And we can see this thing in action. Reload this. Whoops. Reload this. All right. Got some picture work to do, but anyway, you get a scenario, and then right now the lamp is flooded with clear white light. Okay, this is a focusing lens. This is a greening lens. Okay, and a red lens. Okay, so what we can see, well, if you play around long enough, you'll see that if you have the red or focusing lens, and the order doesn't matter, you get a narrow beam of red light and it lights the candle. Okay, but we have three sections. So we have the list of options that aren't selected, the list of options with their effects, and the list of option and the pattern we want to decide. Now, hopefully, if you're familiar with this stuff and on my wavelength, you guess decorator and some doors open. Okay, and we can get down to the next level and so on. Okay, let's see. So that one, it's a little different shape, but it's okay. And then the last one is no puzzle. We just show empty text and you don't have that section. All right, so for each one of these, they've got their own sections. Combo options, I don't know, it feels out of order. Dialogue, answers, order, combo puzzle. I think I'm going to put them more or less in the order they're used. Dialogue, answers, order, combo. So combo is pretty much the last. Of those. Okay, dialogue, acting, and guess dialogue. Acting, guess dialogue. Guess combo, that goes down with combo. And this may be reflecting more the order of stuff. I guess maybe show before guess. And then guess before show combo options. We'll swap these two. This is the helper for this. This one ordering, multi-options, multi-answers. Okay. I was wondering when my keyboard was due for some juice. Okay. it's my tablet. Okay. Let's see. So the thing I wonder now, guess dialogue and multi-answers, they're awfully similar. All right, let's look at dialogue first. So acting, you translate the actions, you develop a list of triggers, you put out the default action, the current action with a default, and then you're showing the header, the drop down, and the response. That's pretty much normal. Response, you're looking up the trigger, getting the head, providing a default response, and then filtering out the maybe. That's clunky. Okay, so list.head. The problem is list.head might not exist. Let's look at maybe. Okay, with default, map A to B. And I was just going to say we had a maybe.extra. There's sometimes something in there that makes things a little smoother. So I kind of want to get maybe list.head. Or what do I want to do? I'm getting the first thing as a pair. It's a trigger and a response. Okay, so how do I get stuff from a pair? I think I can. So what I'm trying to do is, if the list has an item, use it. Otherwise, default this item. I'm trying to get a blank text. Okay, what is this? This is a maybe pair. Found maybe string. Yeah, so this is a maybe pair. When I do this, I turn it into an actual pair. Unwrap B goes to A to B. That's almost. Oh no, they still have a maybe with default. Combine. The problem is I can't pull out the response until it shows up. Maybe the default. I mean, the pair is fine. I don't know if I need that even. Kind of avoiding arbitrary strings, I guess, because I'm going to throw it away immediately, which really is a pity. This dot filter might not come back with anything. Okay, I guess that's all right. Again, we can dispense with this last argument, turning these into function compositions. It'd be nice if there were a way to, I don't know, like if functions took maybes. Do I want that? It's almost like if they automatically took maybes, I might be happier. I don't know. One way or the other, I got to tell it to deal with this, though. Okay. So get the response. Yeah. Then the dialog for guessing. Okay, we're going to find something similar down here. Make multi. Where's guess? Well, it's not as similar as I had thought it would be. Multi-answer header. Instead of answer header, that's fine. Div class solve plus is solved. Okay, make multi-answers, goes through the list of these. Attaches an index, makes the guesses. Yeah, that all seems okay. Make multi-options. Let's find something that does the pattern name. So we mentioned game all answers. So it goes through the game, pulls out all the answers, prepends answer.default, like I don't know, is the current string for that, and then builds the two options for the guess. So let's find the two options. Let's go forward, I guess. We can go to two options and then find usages. Okay, there's two options. Select on input. Okay, there's a two options. Default action to triggers. Well, that's a little different. Somebody better than me could figure out a way to make this more similar. I'm very confident of that. Okay. I don't think that's helping anything. I don't know if it helps to inline this. don't think that's a big deal. All right, let's look at the ordering. Well, multi-option puzzle. I don't think there's anything else there. Current guesses, add a default. That's a little awkward. The challenge is when we set up our rooms, we don't set up the guesses until they actually start guessing. So this is kind of a first time through. We try and display it, we'll realize there aren't any guesses, and let's put the fake, kind of fill in the empty array now. I guess I'll live with that. Okay, this one's another one that's a little long for a method. We'll get the current ordering. If there is none, then we initialize it to length identity, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. If there is one, we keep it. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, what I think I'd like to do is push this decision into model.ordering. So if you ask for the ordering for the model, I would like it to say, if I don't know it, I'm going to tell you this. Otherwise, I'm going to get it. Okay, and it's very minimal right now. Okay, but we're due for another break. So let's take our break, and then we'll come back and handle this. And maybe this should be the same thing. We'll handle these two. All right, a couple minutes, thanks. Hey, welcome back. Alrighty, so what I'm seeing here is it's really this whole block of code is trying to figure out what should the current guesses be, or if they don't exist, then we want the number of answers defaulting in. And if I look through this, number of answers doesn't show up down here. Current guesses with default. Yeah, that's the only one that shows up. So if we had the answer, that's all we need for this method. Okay, so the question is, who's using model.patterns? Okay, and we want to know, for anybody using it, are they happy with the defaults, or can they be made happy? Okay, so model patterns, array.getPatterns model. That's sort of okay with the default. Oh, that's the array get. Okay. Gets the default. All right. And what about down here? GuessMultiPattern. Well, do we have that twice? We do. Another sign. Okay, so this is basically the same code we have. So that definitely indicates it belongs there in view. Okay, so let's take the view one. Okay, so we'll copy this in. We're going to push this into model, and we're going to tell it the puzzle, I guess. Okay, so where's our pattern model? Okay, so here, well, we did the, let's do the reverse now. State model, and this pipes in. Okay, so that should be neutral. Okay, so now we have this code, and we'll take a let. Model.patterns. Okay, we don't want that. that's this. Okay, so the problem is we need a puzzle. What do we get going in? We have an answers puzzle. Oh, that may be a problem. What was that other one? Oh, he has an answers puzzle too. So maybe it really is just for answer puzzles. Okay, so if we handed in answers puzzle to model, okay, required model found array of string. Oh, what? Get the arguments right, then maybe worry about it. Okay. Now, anybody who calls this needs to be passing in the pattern, the puzzle too. Okay, so if I hit save, I'm going to find some places that need it. Okay, we know there's 2 in here. Patterns puzzle. All right. The other one was this one that has a puzzle. Okay. And it wants an answers puzzle. Let's see what those look like. They have the list of patterns. I'm wondering if I can just default this into a list of 1. Patterns. Is that going to be okay? I mean, we're really using the length. Maybe that's all we should pass. Let's try that. Int length. Well, number of answers. Then this one should pass 1. And this one should pass . Well, that sure looks familiar. Number of answers. Okay, what else we got? That's no longer calculated. Let current guesses equal state model, then get the patterns. If the array length of current guesses is the number of answers, then return current guess. Then this is current guesses. All right, I guess we can. Current guesses gets mentioned multiple times, so I think we'll leave that like that. And then this will be the return value, this if. Cool. Anybody else? View.elm. Okay, yeah. So this current guesses with default. Is model.patterns, number of answers, and model. And I think we can simplify that name to just current guesses. I'm not totally happy to pass around that number, but it's not, I don't know. I think we're improving. Let's save. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, state. This is model test. Default guess when current room has none. Okay. Default model current room equals visited. The current guess. Oh. Should I be passing that in too? Who calls this? View. Oh, so he does pass in the... What just happened? Okay. The worst is, once again, I know I'm not going to get a 0 because I always have one guess. The current guess, can I... See, before this would be an empty array and it would default out and get the empty guess. Now we're turning it into an array with one item, and we would like the default guess. I mean, maybe this should just be default guess. I don't know who does anything with default guess. It's part of the problem. So default answer.default. Oh, okay, that does really put something on there. Okay. So maybe pattern should take the string that's the default guess and use it here. And who calls it? Well, this one knows the default guess. And this one, it sort of repeated that, okay. How does it get the default guess? Well, what it does now is this. Let's make it do that. Okay, but I've got a question about GuessMultiPattern. All right, so help to create model. No, we're not doing that. We are make patterns method model.patterns. Take default size and value. Okay. All right, is that going to make the test pass? View. Model. Well, it's doing that same trick. Okay, passing. Let's clean out. Let's see what we can do better. Okay, and model. All right, so this one, current answers, so number of answers it gets, but the current guesses should be built into patterns. We shouldn't need to do this stuff. Okay, and let's just use current guesses here. Okay. Let's find patterns. Uses current guesses. All right, I guess I'm looking for references to this. That usage with default guess, okay. This one and view. All right, I'm happier. Oh, let's see. Everybody's green. Good. Oops. View. What else can we do here? I think these index maps, they're probably as good as that's going to be. We do need to run through with this. I think you can say this shorter though. I think you can just say index guess like that. Yeah. Okay. Make multi options. We get model.game. I don't know. Can I put that in there? Now the ordering, okay, we're doing something similar here. Yeah, matter of fact, it's kind of the same thing, only on the ordering. Okay, so let's fix that one. We want to find model.ordering. We're going to go there, see who uses it. and see if they would be just as happy with the default value in place. Okay, so ordering. Oh, there it is, guess ordering. Okay, they would like the default value, which doesn't need the puzzle length to do. Oh, no, it does. Length identity. Okay, that's fine. And then we had this one in the view. Okay, so we're going to try and make given length, and we don't need a default value because that's coming from the length. Okay, so ordering. Model to array events. Okay, so this becomes all this. All right, so it needs a length. And a model. Okay, so let the guess is the current ordering of the model. Well, this is model. I don't know if this is better or not. Okay. We'll save. I don't think it's even going to pass. No, can't find model.ordering. Oh, because that's this. All right, so that's state model to ordering. And guess. Okay, I think that's what we're saying. So the current ordering is the ordering from the state. If the current ordering has nothing in it, then initialize a new one. Otherwise, return current ordering. Okay, so let's take the let out. Okay, now the people who call this, they don't know about they don't pass in the length. All right, so get the current ordering is take the ordering from the state of the model and then adjust it if it needs it. Okay, and then you ordering length model. Where's initial guesses? Okay, is ordering length of model, and now we don't need this stuff. Initial guesses is the ordering of the length of the model. Okay. And people use initial guesses, but they don't use this anymore. So let's inline this one. Length and take that out. Save. Let length equals. Is it just a space issue? Yes. Okay. Message test. Okay, so whoever calls ordering needs to pass that length in. Okay, so let's look at message test. Model.ordering new model needs to pass the length in, which is apparently 3. Same here. Okay, message test. View.elm. Okay, yeah. needs to pass this. Length, and then who uses length? Oh, it is still used. Okay, so let's just go back to length. Okay. So for an ordering puzzle, we're going to get the length, figure out the ordering based on that, and then we're going to use the length again. Show ordered item for the length. Okay. We're going to build the scrambled items, I guess. Okay, so I think that's okay. What's going on here? Oh, everything's good. Okay, so this was make ordering provide default if not present. Okay, and we'll check that in. Okay. Let's see, we got down here, ordering link, show ordered items. Okay, that's the arrows. Show combos. You don't have any default selected combos, so that one doesn't have the similar problem. Okay. Guess multi-pattern 0. Okay. And then I think we took this out. So I'm going to rename this to just GuessPattern. Okay. And maybe guess patterns here. Since it's potentially a multi-answer thing. This one allows multiples, these two don't. Well, that's trimmed down a bit. I'm happy there. Okay. And I guess this is rename. Okay. Anything in view? All right. Show the way down. And end of game. Okay, we should look at the end of game. All right, this one works, I think. Yeah. All right. And let's just change our starting room to the same as the final room. Save ourselves some looking around. Okay, so if we go here. Oh, my picture's messed up. Okay. The formatting could use some help, but Why is my picture messed up? It's going to be like the last room. 3finish.gif. And let's see our images. Oh. Well, that looks okay to me. 3-F finish. Oh, did I not put the directory? Yeah. Okay, so images 3 finish. Let's reload. It's too big. All right. But this and then this game over button should go somewhere. I guess I defaulted it to my website, but I want to have a specific page on the website. I guess that's defined up here. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's see. Where's to do? Game completeness. End of game not done. Well, we've got something now. All right. So what's left? All right. Not much. This is a refactoring. Creating a model with a puzzle is kind of a pain. Let's see. Maybe the model tests. Okay, maybe this isn't the one I'm thinking of. Default model. Well, maybe that's not so bad. Is it puzzle test? One of these creates a bunch of rooms at the front. That's fine. Message test. Yeah, okay. In this one, you create visited rooms and solved rooms, and you're doing all this stuff to kind of stick together to build up a model with particular answers. You know, to get the model with the answers puzzle, you have to create the game with answers puzzle, create a room with an answers puzzle, and then in that room you put the answers puzzle. I'd really like to just pass this to some little helper function that built up my room, okay, or my model. Maybe this visited room is okay, but anyway, this is message test. So let's make a note there. I guess we're kind of prepping next time. Okay, and it's more of a help function. I mean, it's for tests. Okay. Write dialog's mostly done. I think I kind of am done with that. I'm not going to bother with more tests at this point. I really wish. Well, I wish somebody else could take a look and just kind of critique my Elm and help me fold it in a bit more, because I just know there's some stuff that's just very similar across things, and yet my model seems to have a lot of stuff going on. Look at all those functions it exposes. Now, a lot of them are kind of helper functions to make it easy for the view, which is kind of the point. And it's got to have everything the view displays one way or the other, and every action that changes the model. So in that sense, it's probably natural that it's got a lot, but I just just feel like some of this stuff is similar enough that maybe it could be done better. But I don't feel like it's bad. It's sort of, I think of it like if you're tracing forward and you're following through, like each thing kind of makes sense. It's more when you look across and you say, gosh, there's something very similar going on there, that it matters. But anyway, I think if we fix this test a little bit, and then my goal is to deploy the game basically to my website and make up a little page that's kind of an entry, an entry into it, and then the game, and then the exit page, reference some materials or whatever. Maybe that's where we are. I don't have good ways to deploy. I think I have to like go in HostGator and do an upload or something. Yeah, I don't think that's so trivial. And then I don't have I have to figure out how to compile Elm to the one pager, and I know it can be done, but I just haven't done it. So that'll give us a challenge for next time. But we're close to the end. I may be to the point like I need to do I'll do off-camera work of cleaning up images and making them the right size and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if we can get this deployed next time, I kind of think we're done. I've got a few other projects in mind, and I guess I'll drop some hints. One is I've had this notion of a pipes game where you kind of connect and build pipeways. Another is I have a timekeeper. This is more of a hardware software game. Someone gave me it's like 3 years ago at this point, but they gave me a little one board computer, a little micro board computer. It's not a Raspberry Pi, it's some other thing. And I thought I could use that to build a timekeeper-y thing. And another one is I have these parameterized tests on Xcode for Swift. I feel like I could make a decent library for testing, and maybe I should do that. Another one I'm interested in is I have this notion to just take a pile of cards and take a picture and then reconstruct what those cards are. I don't know how much we can character recognition or reading. I mean, my writing is so bad. I don't know if that's going to be visible, but I don't win awards for consistency or anything else. So I don't know if that'll be how that'll go. Anyway, next project I might do, another one is there are refactorings in Xcode. It's not fully mature, like say JetBrains' app code is pretty mature on this stuff, but I'd like to understand like what refactorings are there and which ones work and when do they work and not work. Maybe build some resources for that. So anyway, I've got those half a dozen things for ideas. We'll come back Sunday. This was the 9th, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time, and see if we can finish this up. And then if so, next week we'll start another project or maybe a spike hour or something. Okay. So thanks for joining me, and I hope I can catch you in the future. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.